2, 3, 4.
Everybody, Deborah King Live. So great to be with you all again today. Let's get started, huh? Sing along with us.
Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock of my soul. So high, you can't get over it. So low, you can't get under it. So wide, you can't get over it. Oh, rock of my soul. Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock of my soul. Bosom of Abraham. Rock of my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock of my soul. Take it, Dave. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Rock my soul of Abraham. Rock my soul in the bosom of Abraham. Oh, rock my soul. Oh, rock my soul. Oh, rock my soul.
Okay, off to a rousing start. Hope you have learned this song. We love singing it, and it's such a great way to start, isn't it? So, you can call in and talk to me today on my phone. Uh, love to help you with whatever problem you may be having. And, that number is 1-888-DEB-SHOW, or if you're international, you go to deborahking.com/DEB-SHOW. Again, would be honored to work with you on your personal issue. So, no matter where you are, you can click the share button down here and you can have your friends and family join us. We'll have a lot of fun today. So let's just take a moment and kind of drop in and think about where we are and why we're here. Just ground ourselves to Mother Earth. So easy to do. We're outside. You're with us. It's just like you're right here with us. Just feel that beautiful breeze that's coming through. And ask yourself, what's really important today? Not this little stuff, right, that we focus on. It never is. It's always your soul that really matters. All about your sense of joy in the moment. You want to just have a sense of real, deep, and abiding joy. Hopefully all day if you can. And just let the little stuff kind of ride, just below your consciousness. That's the advantage to meditating. You begin to witness your life and find out how hilarious the whole thing really is, right? We have so much to be thankful for. Take a moment and just go into gratitude. So thankful for our friends and our loved ones and our pets and our spirit guides. Beautiful. All right. We're in the moment. So I'll take a moment and introduce the band. We got our guy Jack Lee over here, our music director, who's multi-talented, and Lois Mahaya. Oh, she holds the whole for us, right? And J.B. White, got a beautiful voice, doesn't he? And I know I'm doing this out of order. Sorry. And our gal Allie Clark, who's just been such an addition to us, and on roller skates as usual. And down in the back, we've got James on drums and Lee on a plethora of instruments, and David, same thing, can really knock it out of the park for us. So we're so lucky to have them join us here, aren't we? I'm just so, really so grateful about that. All right, we have a really special song for you right now. A Mahalia song sung by our Mahalia. All right, let's do it. You're going to really enjoy this.
Abide with me. Fast falls the evening tide. The darkness deepens. Lord, abide with me. When other helpers fail and comfort help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Hold thou thy cross before my closing eyes. Shine through the gloom and point me to the skies. Heaven's morning breaks and earth's vain shadows flee. In life, in death, O Lord, abide with me. Abide with me.
Wow. What a beautiful, prayerful moment that was. I know you're just as dropped in so deeply as I am, just into that song. Doesn't it just take you someplace very profoundly deep? All right, I'd like to talk to you today about Padre Pio, one of my personal favorites. I've been really studying him all my life. And let's get started on that, okay? All right. So as you can see, I've moved indoors. It was California's version of winter. Our last show was maybe, our version of winter is maybe 60. And flash forward 2 weeks, it's now 90. So I'm not acclimated yet to the heat, so we came inside. And again, I want to talk about Padre Pio. He's one of my mentors. So, you know, it's really interesting. Have you noticed that there's a common thread winding its way through so many biographies, right, of saintly people and spirit-led people? First, they're vilified, especially if there's a church involved, and then later they're venerated. But perhaps more interesting for us is that they're always subject to illnesses, accidents, and other roadblocks that, some are natural and some are human erected, that most would expect, to really slow you down or maybe shut them down forever. But they're just like the ever-ready bunny. They pop back up. They keep going and going and going. It's really amazing. So the Italian priest Padre Pio is one of these amazing individuals. So he was born Francesco in the, 1887 or so, in some little tiny obscure Italian village. And by the age of 5, he had decided, this is so incredible, to dedicate himself to the sacred. I got to say, that is really early. So his family was poor. He had the job of shepherding their little tiny small flock of sheep. He couldn't really go to school very much, so he fell way behind. He had to work. He was also sick quite a bit as a child. And throughout his whole life, you'll find out he was sick. So at the age of 6, he got what we would call gastroenteritis, and when he was 10, he got typhoid. That's a serious one. And, I really relate to Padre Pio on so many levels, and that's level number 1 is I was sick a lot in my childhood. I missed almost the whole first grade. So after about 3 years of schooling or so, he told his parents, I want to be a friar. That's not a priest, that's a friar. It's a little different. And the friary told his parents that he needed more education. That they couldn't take him in that way. And so they hired a tutor for him. His parents did. In fact, his father even sailed to America. Can you imagine? In the 1880s, he sailed to America to earn the money to send his boy to school. I mean, these parents were so dedicated to their divine beliefs, really. They believed in this. So at 15, he was officially taken into the friary, and he took the name Pio, Padre Pio. And the moment he gets there, he gets sick again. He starts to have illness after illness, but at the same time, he has all these experiences of what we would call religious ecstasy. Now, I related to this, too, with Padre Pio, because I had a lot of that illness and ecstasy blend when I was a child, and who knows, modern psychologists would probably say, oh, that's a product of PTSD, or they would question it, right? As do I. So his fellow friars always said that a lot of strange sounds emanated from Pio's cell, the little room or little alcove he had to sleep in. He said he was getting personally attacked by the devil at night. And that's, the battles were occurring. And I had that same experience when I was in my early 40s. In fact, it was so pronounced, I had been away from any church my whole adult life. And I still remember asking my husband, I was flat on my back with some illness, and I said, I know this sounds really weird, but will you go down? There was a mission in the little town we lived in, a mission Santa Ynez, a Catholic mission. I said, would you go down there and buy a crucifix and get it blessed by the local priest and bring it back, because I'm getting these nighttime attacks. I know it sounds weird, but there's a lot of crossovers for me with Pio. Now, a few years later, Padre Pio gets even sicker, and he can't keep any food down. They send him off to the mountains. The belief at the time, I would still say it's probably not a bad idea to send somebody to the mountains for healing. They hoped he would recover, share. That didn't happen, so they finally sent him home. Well, he wasn't blown away by this setback. He just kept studying, and he was ordained a priest now, okay, in the early 1900s, something like 1910. But they let him stay home because of his ill health. And also, World War I's going on. So there he is, doing his thing at home and in the local church, and one local parishioner reported seeing him levitate. Well, that's a pretty pronounced sign of the Spirit, right? It's very pronounced. So 10 years later, Padre Pio was well known locally. The locals began to say he had supernatural abilities, and he was seen levitating. He was also able to perform these incredible healings. And my personal favorite was he could be in two places at once. That's bilocation. Now, when questioned about it, probably by the church fathers, he said, well, I'm aware I'm apparently in two places at once. I don't know if it's visual to people, but in my mind, I'm aware of it, which is kind of interesting. So what was he known for? He was known for his devoutness, his goodness, and his wisdom. He was incredibly wise. He would counsel people, pray, hope, and never worry, because worry is useless. One of the things I like about Padre Pio is he's famous for disregarding the rules of the church. He kind of threw them out the window. And he would give confession and communion, those are Catholic sacraments, to anyone, Catholic, non-Catholic. He didn't distinguish. I have to say it's always really irritated me that the church is exclusionary when it should be inclusive, right? So he was way, way, way ahead of his time. The guy was, light years ahead of his time. But he continued to battle illness every day of his life. He even had cancer, by the way. So he's one of my strongest examples of someone who used talk therapy, really we could call it, to help people heal. He advised everybody. Back in those days, most people in Italy went to confession once a week. It was like a Saturday ritual, right? He said it's really important. You have to do it like clockwork. It removes your emotional and spiritual roadblocks, because what we do is when we are ashamed of something we've done or thought or said, we hold on to it. We pull it inside ourselves, and it lowers our vibration. So what he would encourage, if he were around today, he would encourage you to do what I would encourage you to do, is talk to a energy medicine practitioner or a therapist. Well, more on that a little bit later. So his biggest gift, in my opinion, was his ability to see inside someone's soul. He could get to the real core problem at the soul level. He would zero in on it, and he would figure out what the individual was doing that was really hurting them, and he would gently suggest to take another route, right, to get better. For example, maybe he would intuit that you had spoken cruelly or abruptly to a family member, or maybe you had refused to forgive someone. Oh boy, that's a bad one, right? That holding on to resentment. And he would speak very candidly with you about it and urge you to direct you to fix the issue. He would spend upwards to 20 hours a day sitting in that little box. Those confessional things are just a little box where he has his ear to the little screen and he can hear you speaking to him. And people, first it was just the townspeople, and then it was the soldiers from the war and from any country, and it was people all over the globe came to him to confess their mistakes, their sins, their shame, right? To be absolved, to be forgiven. So, in my opinion, this was the most valuable thing he brought to our universe. So when he died in September of 1968, more than 100,000 people came to his funeral. Isn't that inspiring? I so regret that I didn't really get myself over to Italy and meet him before he was gone. I was too young to realize that, what a saint. The guy's a saint, right? So let's talk about his gifts. He had a bunch of them. The most famous, of course, if you know about him, is the stigmata. Stigmata is the appearance of wounds on somebody's body that correspond to the wounds that Christ suffered on the cross. So they would be, in the palms and in the feet and in the heart. And the first person to ever get the stigmata was St. Francis of Assisi. And Pio, he had the stigmata for over 50 years of his life. He hid the marks on his hands. He always wore gloves. So my favorite story about him is about the journalist asked him if it was possible that he had caused the stigmata by over-focusing on the Christ. And he laughed. He said, I want you, sir, to go out to the field. I want you to look very closely at a bull. I want to see if horns grow on you after you have done this. So he's my kind of guy. He had quite a sense of humor. But he was also known, by the way, for other gifts besides the stigmata. He had the gift of healing. That's the one I've been working on all my life, right? He had the gift of prophecy. He could levitate. He could bilocate, which is being in two places at once. He was kind of legendary for that. These are very, very advanced gifts. Again, his biggest gift, in my opinion, was this ability to see inside an individual's soul, to read your heart. He could get right to the core of someone's problem. He could get below their conscious, below their unconscious, and get to the soul level. He could tell you exactly what you were doing to harm yourself, and then help you get past it. Whether you had been in a situation where you'd been hurt, or you'd hurt a friend or a family member or coworker, these are where we get banged up, right? He was a master at this type of healing. He did this in part, again, through the confessional in his days, which he recommended once a week. He said it's like dusting a room. Again, I would say these days that would be, you could choose a therapist or your energy healing practitioner. Choose someone who is not a family member, not a friend. You don't want someone with an agenda. And be sure confidentiality is part of it, right? So all religious traditions know the value of admitting our wrongdoings. They practice for it, right? Christian churches used to have individual confession, a lot of them, and now they have group atonement. But in Judaism, they have the same thing. They call it vidu. In Islam, they call it the declaration. In Eskimo shamanism, they do a public confession to cure the patient. In West Africa, very similar. In West Africa, the Deborah tribe conducts rituals with water to clear this kind of energy from us, because we hold this stuff in our bodies, our body minds, our energy fields. So again, unburdening your shame is easy. One of the main practices I teach is journaling, right? Writing down your thoughts and feelings so you can know yourself and you can get your truth out. So let's stop there, and we'll go sing another song. We'll be back. Another great song, you guys. Shall We Gather by the River? Now, again, the lyrics are always right there on Facebook for you. Would love to, A, have you sing along. B, give us some song suggestions. Again, anything in the public domain, just check it out. Google it and see if the song you love is in the public domain. We will love to bring it to you in a future show. All right, sing along with this one. This is a fun one.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shall we gather at the river, where bright angel feet have trod, with the crystal tide forever flowing from the throne of God? Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. Yes, we'll gather at the river, the beautiful, beautiful river. Gather with the saints at the river that flows by the throne of God. That flows by the throne of God.
Fun, huh? Okay, back to Padre Pio. It's, again, one of my favorite topics. So again, I was talking about how you can get your shame out, right? Along the lines of what Padre Pio encourages us to do. And there's journaling, right? Writing down your thoughts and feelings so you know yourself better and you get your truth out. And I don't care if you tap it into your phone or talk it into your phone or write it on a napkin or on a watermelon. It doesn't matter. You just get it out in the moment. The sooner the better. And be honest with yourself. You know, if that's how you feel about your sister-in-law, say so. Get it out of your energy field where it's poisoning you and holding you back on your path. But here's the key. Now you know about it, but you need to share it. Again, I mentioned this earlier. We really need to share this stuff with somebody. That's what confession used to do for us. I remember my mother saying to me when I was maybe 12, at the age where I didn't want to listen anymore, I'm digressing here, that one day you'll thank me, Deborah, for giving you this avenue of getting rid of mistakes you've made. You know, she was very wise. Of course, you don't know that when you're 12, right? Today, though, you might talk to your energy healer, your shaman, your therapist, whatever works for you. Again, confidentiality is key here. And it's so important to declare to someone else your failings, your mistakes. It's a fundamental self-healing tool. And then I was thinking this morning, the practice of admitting to our wrongs and clearing ourselves. Hey, back in my 20s, I did the 12 steps all the time. And I went and looked at the 12 steps today. 7 of the 12 are all about this very step, admitting to another our wrongs. 7 of the 12. So I remember how powerful those steps were for me at the time I was in my 20s. So if we don't acknowledge our wrongdoings and we can find them like all this sludge around us, it stays in our body mind and keeps us stuck and as I said, can make you sick. Now, again, spoiler alert, do not share stuff with your family members, loved ones, friends, coworkers. Pick someone neutral who has no agenda. Everyone has an agenda for you. You just may not realize it. You know, they think they'll know better, and they may not. So instead, find a neutral person who's confidential and unburden yourself. Get this out of you. Make it just like go away. So, you know, many of the things I'm advocating right now, awareness and expressing to another your thoughts and feelings and regrets, are to support you in getting connected to you. So one of the biggest flaws of our modern day culture, magnified by the pandemic, is we're so alone, right? So we're forced to rely on alcohol, drugs, including antidepressants, sleeping pills, you know, you name it, right? It is that we've lost a lot of our support, our system of support. A lot of us used to go to church, right? And church doesn't seem like quite the right avenue anymore for so many of us. And And so we've lost the idea of atonement and our connection to others. So it doesn't change our need for it, though. It's a basic human need. It goes all the way back to when we were in tribes. And we need to declare our failings as well as have the joy of connecting with other people. That's why I make it possible today for you to join me on most Tuesdays to get together with me here in my community on Facebook and YouTube. These are purposeful gatherings. They're to give you the opportunity to experience the light, to share the light, to unburden yourself, to feel lighter and joyous and free, and fulfill our deep, deep need for connection to each other. It's a fact. Connection heals. I discovered this in my 20s, by the way. When I was trying to learn how to heal, I found out that I could be far more effective in a group than I could in an individual session. I thought, I wonder what the deal is. Well, duh, right? Of course, a group works better. There's group energy. You remember what Jesus said, when two or more are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. It's the light that heals, and it's the Christ light that I'm speaking of right now that comes from each of us. We each carry it to some degree. We share it, we amplify it for the benefit of one another. So self-forgiveness plays such a key role, all right, in your spiritual evolution. I'm always telling my students the number one issue that's blocking their next initiation is always self-blame and shame. Always, always, always. Isn't that interesting? You'd think it'd be something else, but it's always they feel so bad about something they've done, and so many times it's unconscious. You're too hard on yourselves. I see this all the time. So in addition to recognizing your feelings and voicing them and sharing them with another trusted individual, give yourself a heaping dose of compassion, would you? A real, give yourself a break. We are just people, and we get stuck in our small selves, and that prevents us from raising ourselves to a higher vibration. Ask yourself, how in the world do I forgive myself for the terrible thing I did to my mother, the abortion, the marriage I screwed up, the losing my job stupidly, not being good to my parents, being terrible to my children, blah, blah, blah. I could go on, right? Self-forgiveness is easier than you might think, even if you think about all the things I just named. It's so necessary. And I learned this in the 12-step program. So once you've acknowledged your mistakes, what can you do to correct them? You may need to apologize, or maybe that's not appropriate. Maybe that would just make you feel better, but make the person you're apologizing to feel worse to be reminded. So don't do it for you. Think, what would make this better? Maybe just good thoughts sent through the ethers would be the best thing. But if it's an apology, you can send an email, you can send flowers, you can make a call. Right the wrong, however, whatever it takes. And the bottom line is, this is the way that we get this out of ourselves, and we're very humbled, aren't we, by acknowledging our stupid mistakes. We learn from them, and then we let them go. Stop giving these mistakes power over you. Stop the self-punishment and the blame. Have compassion for yourself, please. Being human isn't easy, right? There's really no manual. We learn as we go through this earth school. We do the best we can with what we have most of the time. And mistakes are actually a critical part of our evolution. It's painful, but it's simple. That's how it is. So once you can accept that, it becomes much easier, doesn't it, to move through issues and wounds that are keeping you stuck. So forgive yourself. Don't stay angry. Don't stay regretful or beat yourself up. Won't serve you or the person that you think you hurt. You can't heal relationships that way, and you can't authentically do for someone else what you can't do for yourself. That's what I learned when I was a young healer, is that I had to do this for myself first. So the spiritual payoff here is huge. And when you're in touch with how you feel in each moment, and when you've acknowledged your wrongdoings to another, and thus let them go, then you can rise above your small self. And with a regular practice of connecting to source through meditation or music or the nature, whatever works, with you, or all of the above, and without all the negative self-talk that was going on before, you will find there's more space for light in your life. There's enough room in you for your higher self to download from your chakras above your head. Come right into your energy field. Then you can use this body and this lifetime to act through the personality that you have to bring in the higher qualities. For one person that might be loyalty, for somebody else it might be resilience, for another it might be silence. It's whatever it is for you. And your talents will start to just manifest. So this dedicated inner work is the way to get your divine gifts to load. You may suddenly become very patient, and you weren't before, or very tolerant, and you weren't before. Your intuition will get sharper. And who knows, maybe you're going to be the one that levitates or bilocates. You don't know, right? Those are also gifts. So one of my favorite exercises to absolve yourself from shame and blame and guilt is to make a quick mental list every night before you go to sleep. You definitely want to pick up on this and do this. If you did something wrong that you're ashamed of that day, plus there's something else bothering you that you did some other time, you want to let it go. Let it go, let it go. So let's do the exercise right now. We'll do it together. Just join me as I say, I am human. I make mistakes. I'm sorry especially, and name that one mistake you're most sorry for right now, and I will too. I'm really sorry about that one. I want to be forgiven. I want to put it behind me. I want to start fresh tomorrow. Let's do that again, okay? Say it with me. I'm human. I'm designed this way. I make mistakes. I'm really sorry for that specific mistake and that other one too. We'll do a twofer. And now I'll start fresh tomorrow after a good night's sleep. And plus I want to call in all the higher powers to support me in my path of self-forgiveness. And on your behalf, I call in the angels and all the saints, including Padre Pio. Let's have him come right now and bless us on our path and grant us absolution. Thank you, Padre Pio. Beautiful. All right. Let's go sing another song. I especially like this one. Oh, this is a fun song. I hope you guys will sing along with us. This is a really fun song.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Shining in you. Your silvery beams will bring love's dreams. Will be colored soon by the silvery moon.
Okay, time to take a few calls from you on my little red phone. Looking forward to speaking with you.
Welcome to
You guys having a good time so far? I certainly am. This is totally the high point of my week, okay? Hi, this is Deborah. How can I help you? Can't quite hear my caller. Hi, this is Deborah. How can I help you? And my caller needs to turn off her sound on her computer, but you need to turn up my phone quite a bit, you guys. On her computer, but there we go. You need to turn up my phone quite a bit. Yeah, but I'm still getting feedback, so we have to tell our caller to. There we go. You need to turn up my phone quite a bit. Yeah, but I'm still getting feedback, so we have to tell our caller to. Or I won't be able to hear her. Or him. I'm still getting feedback, so we have to tell our caller to. Or I won't be able to hear her.
Wait, move on. There. Where's your mute button now? That's it. No, it isn't. You should have a mute
Now
button.
I can hear the caller now. What's your name?
I don't think I... Hello?
Hi, I can hear you. What's your name? What's your name?
Hello?
I can hear you. What's your name? Not sure the caller can hear me now.
Hello?
Maybe we should try reset this one and try again. That's what I would suggest.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I think we need to try this one again, you guys. Maybe give that caller a few moments to regroup, and we'll... Hi, this is Deborah. How can I help you? Hi, how can I help you?
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. What's your name? Not hearing anything, not hearing this caller. I'm not hearing this caller, so I'll hang up and we'll regroup, I guess. Well, third time's a charm, I'm hoping. Hey, this is Deborah. Hi, can I help you? Hi, can I help you? Looks like we're having phone problem. I vote for singing another song while we're waiting. How's that for an idea? let's
Gonna
sing It
Rain
Ain't
No
Gonna
More.
Rain No More, you guys. But before we sing our last song, I want to take a moment here. I need Myron. Hey, Myron, let me pull you out of wherever you are. And special moment, we're going to say our goodbyes to Allie, who's been with us now for a while. Take the camera down to Allie, if you would, gang. This is her last show before her baby's born. We're so excited for her. Yay, Allie. And we have a little gift for you, Allie. Well, actually, it's not totally little. So let's bring it on. Here it comes.
Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. From the band to you. We're really excited for you. Can't wait to hear all about your little one when it arrives. And that giraffe's taller than you are, seated.
So sweet. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, yeah, sing It Ain't Gonna Rain No More with us, right? Be sure to sing along. I know you guys know this one. Okay?
1, 2, 3, 4. A peanut sat on a railroad track. His heart was all aflutter. Along came a 415. Peanut butter.
The butterfly flits on wings of gold. The June bug wings of flame. The bedbug has no wings at all, but he gets there just the same.
It ain't gonna rain no more, no more. It ain't gonna rain no more. How in the world can the old folks tell? It ain't gonna rain no more.
Oh, the skeeter, he fly high. Oh, the skeeter, he fly low. Oh, Mr. Skeeter, light on me. He ain't gonna fly no more.
Well, the old folks sitting on a lily pad, looking up at the sky. Oh, the lily pad broke and the bump fell in. Water got in his eyes. Singing.
Ain't gonna rain no more, no more. Ain't gonna rain no more. How in the world can the old folks tell? It ain't gonna rain no more.
Play, Dave.
Ain't gonna rain no more, no more. Ain't gonna rain no more. How in the world can the old folks tell? It ain't gonna rain no more. Ain't gonna rain no more, no more. Ain't gonna rain no more. How in the world can the old folks tell? It ain't gonna rain no more.
All right. Another fabulous show. We had such a good time with you. We can't wait to see you again. Our next show will be 2 weeks from today. It'll be the, what is today, the 1st, so it'll be March 15th, and really looking forward to that, all right? Until we see you again, you guys take care.
2, 3, 4.
Well, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, rocking my soul in the bosom of Abraham, oh, rocking my soul. So high, you can't get over it, so low, you can't get under it, so